Peace and love. Welcome to another Supreme Numerics offering brought to you by Mr. Westbrook's class on YouTube. This is your June 2026 numerology message for the collective. And this month's message is to look before you leap. Use your mind and intuition before taking action. June is the 6th month, so we're partially influenced by the energy of the number 6, which denotes balance, family, changes regarding the home and education. And when we add 6 to the current year, 2026, that adds up to 16. And when we go to tarot numerology, 16 is known as the tower and also the shattered citadel. And it depicts a tower struck by lightning from which a man is falling with a crown on his head. This imagery represents disaster, danger, and upheaval as a result of ignoring or suppressing the truth or having misguided or wrong thinking. This is not a month to hide the truth or to lie to anyone, especially yourself, because the truth comes to the light and ignoring it or purposely keeping it swept under the rug can have devastating results. As a single digit, 1 plus 6 equals 7 to make June a 7 universal month. To be on the positive side of the 7, you want to trust your intuition since 7 is one of those intuitive numbers. Intuition, as a characteristic, classifies 7 as a spiritual number, which it is, but there's also the analytical side of the 7. Maximizing the universal 7 month also means doing your due diligence and performing the research and analysis on whatever decisions or actions you plan to take this month. There is no separation between the spiritual and the intellectual. The best course of action with the 7 is to have a healthy balance between the intuition of the spiritualist or metaphysician and the analytical mind of the researcher or scientist when it comes to navigating a 7 cycle or possessing the 7 in your name or birthday. When we go to the expression of the word June, which is the sum total of the June, it adds up to 5 in the Pythagorean system of numerology. 5 deals with change, movement, freedom, and adaptability. And since it's a 14-5, before we get to the single digit of 5, the compound numerology of the number 14 teaches us to move, change, and adapt with the balance of creativity and structure and stability. So with the influence of the number 5 and the 16-7, June is telling us that we are coming upon a crossroads, with the 5 and 6 being halfway point crossroad numbers at the center of the 1 through 9 numerical cycle. There are decisions that may need to be made or changes that need to happen, since 5 is the number of change and also taking risks. We want to be creative yet grounded in our approach and make sure we are listening to our intuition, researching and deep diving into our options before making those moves and changes. In the Chaldean system, June adds up to 17-8. As the star card in tarot numerology, 17 is a divine number that's peaceful and loving, prosperous, financially astute, intuitive. It's a number of leaving a legacy, attaching one's name to something long-standing and beneficial to humanity beyond your physical existence. Since 17 is both highly intuitive and materially prosperous, the 17 also calls us to strike a healthy balance between the spiritual and material worlds so that we may attract abundance, which is the number 8. 8 is the money number, the number of abundance. And the symmetry of the number 8, when you cut it in half, is the infinite balance of the material and the spiritual. And what all this means in relation to the 16-7 universal month and the June expression number in the Pythagorean system is this. And this is the conclusion of the message. Having a successful, positive, and fulfilling June is to keep in mind that as we have approached the halfway point of this Gregorian calendar year, we may be reflecting on our progress so far and considering what adjustments or moves we got to make with our home lives, careers, business, personal and spiritual lives. And keep in mind, all of those areas are connected, by the way. But before we take decisive actions or risks in regards to our homes, families, and finances for both our short-term futures and our long-term legacies, look before you leap and trust your intuition. This means going beneath the surface and getting all of the answers to the who, what, when, where, hows, and whys. This means making sure we're being honest with ourselves and each other about where we are and where we need to go. And after you've done your due diligence in those areas, you just sit still and let spirit speak to you and guide you. Look before you leap. Use your mind and intuition before taking action, because if you don't, you may experience your own proverbial falling from a lightning-struck tower. This has been your June 2026 numerology message for the collective. Choose to make it a great month, and I will see you in July. Peace.